And it is time for Illusion Garden Guide Part 2. And this time it is Vivachel, the Dark Harp Magician. Seems like we got her again. I checked the Korean server, they have received her for the third time as well. So it looks like we will be getting quite a few repeats, at least of the 5-star Harp Magicians. I'm not sure if they will put the light one in here or it's just gonna be the dark one, but yeah, we're gonna go through the teams that I used. I cleared all 7 levels, and even though I had some unlocked, I did level 1 to level 7 just for the sake of this video, so you could see what teams I used, the strategies, and all of that. So level 1, in general, level 1 to level 4 will be quite easy. It's level 5 when it starts getting difficult, so while the level 1 plays, I will explain what sort of things you need in this team. And first of all, keep in mind that this is applicable to all summoners because I'm getting all of the basically effects, damage, all of that that's needed from my monsters. The summoner is just there for being there. For example, I'm using Cleave because I'm a Cleave main mainly. You can use it with any because all of the required effects are provided by monsters. So for Vivachel, you will need 2 things actually. So the first and most important one will be some sort of a way to block their healing, because first of all, they have a lot of skills that heal a lot, and second of all, if they do get their ultimate off, it's gonna be unkillable because they will heal every second and they will heal for quite a bit. So there are a few options for blocking healing. So the first and probably the easiest one will be the regular heal block effect, or the second one, as you can see in my third monster slot, it's the magical archer, which provides undead, which is essentially another way of blocking healing as well. And yeah, the second thing you need, well, rather not need, but it does help you out with the run, is a strip, because these units have a skill that provides defense buff, and there's quite a few of these Vivachels. They will have multiple levels of defense buff, so you can go for a stripper, like a regular stripper that removes any buff, or you can go for a stripper that only removes defense break. There are a few, for example, something like a fire, what's it called? Fire Fairy, which most of you should have built. She won't be the perfect unit here, but her second skill does have an AoE strip of the defense buff, which is a really big range as well, so it's a backup option if you don't have any other stripper build. For me, I used Soha for the first few stages. Later on I switched to Juno, as she is able to do some burns as well, and that way you're able to get more damage. Yeah, for level 3 the condition was to place a dark support units. There are pretty much only 2 dark support units that are available for sort of like free to play without spending too much money, and that will be the dark Epician Priest, which isn't that good in here, and the dark Harp Magician Vivachel, which you probably have either by buying in the guild shop or from the previous Illusion Garden rotation. So yeah, she doesn't do much here. I mean, she provides healing, she provides defense buff, but other than that, she is mostly here just to fill in that condition slot. The rest of the team is Celia and Juno. So Juno for the strip and Celia for the healing and for the heal block. So yeah, Celia, first of all, because of her passive, is like a must-pick unit in these Illusion Gardens. Because she provides damage build up, she provides some healing, she provides mana up, as you can see, level 2 mana up, which allows you to spam skills even more. And I personally chose to Soul Link her on her first skill, because that skill gives heal block as well as damage taken up. So not only will it completely counter all of these Harp Magicians, as you can see, one of them even launched an ult and it doesn't do any healing as long as you have the heal block. But yeah, once you land that heal block and that damage taken up, most of these will die super fast, at least for the first few levels. And yeah, apart from that, just hit on the boss. As you can see, I'm even going full auto by now. And yeah, if you have her soul linked, you will be able to keep up that heal block permanently. If not, keep in mind that if there is a cooldown on it, like if your unit doesn't use it right away, like some units like to do, it might fail. But yeah, apart from that, you can strip with Juno, not necessary, but it does help. Celia for the first skill spam and passive, and any dark support unit that you have, honestly, and you will be able to pass the stage no trouble as well. And luckily for you, this stage 4 condition actually allows you to use the same team as well. You need a dark support unit, but on top of that you need a light unit, and I mean Celia is like a must in this dungeon, so there's really nothing you need to change, and the principle is the same. You heal block, you can soul link, you cannot soul link, up to you. Strip if needed to speed up the runs, and Dark's, Dark Vivachel, Dark Harp Magician is there for a little bit of healing, so you just don't die, even if you're like on a bit of a weaker side. And yeah, I will not go too much through this, I will speed it up because it's literally the same team as level 3, and we'll go to the next level. And level 5 is where things get a little bit more interesting. So I was still able to get the power bonus. I think most of you will be able to get it. If not, you can bring in a light unit or two, like something. If you bring a Shushu, even if you do not use it, Shushu will allow you to get higher power bonus because she is a light element and the boss is dark element this time. So you can switch in Shushu for a bit and then switch out once you are in the stage, and I'm confident you will be able to get the bonus in most cases. For me, only the summoner was enough to switch to light. I will switch back to fire or water, I believe, later on. But for the team itself, of course, it's nat 4s only, so remember what sort of things that you need. So first of all is the heal block, which is what Colleen provides in this case. Her first skill has a AoE heal block. It is a small range, but it is enough to speed it up. So first of all, speed up the damage as well as increase healing, increase heal block amount. I have a Purian, you can use Purian, you can use Konamiya, Tion, or any other skill cooldown boost, maybe even something like a Wind or a Light Penguin. Both of those allow you to boost skill cooldowns as well in one way or another. But yeah, for me, I use Purian. It's a more offensive option, like it has a tiny bit less boost on the same mana cost, but it does give you critical rate up. So because my cleave is quite low on crit rate, it just allows me to do more damage. For a safer option, I would recommend going for something like Konamiya or Tion, because they have a heal, and Tion also has an emergency revive in case something goes wrong. And for the third unit, it mostly depends on what you have. If you have something like a light cowgirl who is actually able to strip and defense break, that would be the perfect option. I brought the dark one, and the reason for that is I tried quite a few units here, but I never got any success. For Cassie, she is really good into these, especially if you do not have a nat 4 stripper, because she is able to do damage through all of those buffs. So because Vivachel usually buffs defense buff a lot, instead of stripping, I can just bring a Cassie. She will ignore that defense buff. All of her skills, including her basic attack, ignore that defense buff, and she's doing damage as if it wasn't there at all. And yeah, as you can see in the team, most of the teams I've tried, like Pure and Colleen +1, I was never able to do enough damage, or the team was simply not safe enough. With Cassie, I found that the damage she does through the defense buff helped quite a bit. And yeah, remember that Colleen's heal block will be a bit less consistent here. First of all, she needs to walk to the target, and second of all, her range of that heal block is very small, so you will need to do it more often in order to get everyone. But yeah, apart from that, just keep boosting skills with Purian. That way Colleen is able to heal block a lot. She's able to buff up attack first of all, which is super important since you're not able to bring a Celia here to increase your damage. and she does have a heal. If you do not have enough heal, you can try bringing some kind of a healer maybe, or a buffer instead of Cassie. However, keep in mind that in that case you might not have enough damage. But yeah, you can even try the same Fire Fairy, which actually removes the defense break AoE with a very big range. Maybe if you feel confident in your team surviving, you can try that. But yeah, this is the team I used and it worked out pretty well. And now, believe it or not, level 6 again allows you to use the same team as level 3 and as level 4, and even as level 1, since there is really no condition on that one as well. So for this one, light support and dark monster. So for dark, you can change Vivachel for something else. If you feel like you have enough sustain, you can go for a damage dealer, you can go for something like a cooldown boost if you have frigate or whatever. You can even try the Cassie. I tried Vivachel because I felt like I did not have enough sustain on my side, especially since my Celia was built on Rage Blade instead of full tank, so the healing she did was very low. So yeah, that's why I brought the Vivachel. But again, Celia, Vivachel, Juno, or any other stripper here is more than enough. Celia again spamming that heal block and damage taken up skill 1 on Soul Link, and with that, this time I of course started manual running, because the problem with auto is you're able to sustain, but you will not be able to do enough damage. At least that was in my case. So I needed to group them up in order to land all of those heal blocks at once instead of just being spread out, and from there just apply heal block, strip if it allows you to. For example, I sometimes switched to Juno to strip. You can sometimes switch to any unit and allow Celia to use that skill too. First of all, that will heal you up, and second of all, it will sleep all units in wave 1 and wave 2, and by sleeping all of them, you actually allow yourself a little bit of an easier run, because less monsters will be hitting you, and less monsters will be healing on top of that as well, because as you can see, if they launch multiple ults, it's gonna be rough. But yeah, apart from that, just go for the boss once it comes out, and easy peasy from there on out. And level 7 is the final stage. The condition here is a light support monster as well as excluding dark monsters. So we didn't really want the dark monster in there anyway, so it doesn't matter for us. This allows you to pick any third unit apart from Celia and a stripper. And for that I've chosen Sharon. So Sharon is pretty useful. It's like a second form of blocking healing in case Celia misses something or something like that. Also, she has a defense break, so you can speed up your runs a bit that way as well. But yeah, Celia, this time I've switched her from a Rage Blade build to a full tank build with max accuracy. The reason for that is, as you can see, since I'm using Sharon instead of Vivachel, I no longer have a lot of healing, so I'm gonna be mostly relying on Celia heals, as well as occasional heals from Juno as well. But yeah, apart from that, same strategy. You just spam heal block with Celia after grouping them all up. With Juno, you are able to strip that defense buff if they do apply it. If not, you can just simply start doing damage with your summoner, with your Sharon. Again, Sharon is a single target. She's mostly aimed for that boss wave. She will not be doing too well in these, since I mean, she does kill, she does apply all of the defense break stuff, but it is a single target, so she will not do too much. But yeah, apart from that, clear the first 2 waves the same way you cleared any other wave in the any other stage. And once the boss comes, I usually did heal block as well as cycling a bit with Juno, and towards the end I started spamming Sharon skills for extra damage, because yeah, the monsters are tanky here, and it looks like I brought just barely enough damage to deal with it. So yeah, be careful there if you see that you're struggling with damage. Again, just like Shushu, these monsters, like the enemies in this dungeon, are not really damage heavy. These are mostly supports. Those last archers can be a little bit annoying, especially when they get attack and speed buffs, but yeah, apart from that, trust me, this is one of the easier runs still, because I did experience the Dark Lich Illusion Garden in Korea, and trust me, that one was no joke. The damage you deal there is way higher, or rather the damage they deal to you, and the strategy will be way different for when it arrives in our servers. But yeah, for this one, apply defense break if you can, keep applying those heal blocks and brands. Make sure to bring out your units from the mosh pit, especially if you're a cleave user, because you might provoke them at first, but because the boss likes to run away, your summoner will be chasing the boss, and while the summoner chases the boss, your units will be left behind and they will eventually take aggro, as you can see here. It first started with me getting all of the hits pretty much, but then later on Juno started receiving all of the damage and it almost was a bit close to a loss. But yeah, apart from that, just kill the boss. I think I killed with like 2 or 3 seconds left, and yeah, that's about it for this video. Hope you enjoyed, and peace.